I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings, my sweet tortured souls. I am Miss Violet Impulse, and this is Violet's Collectables Reviews. Coming up in today's review, I'm going to take a look at the Hasbro Studio Series Transformers Blur. But first, something new for this show, I'm going to take a look at the comments section. And on my Elvira episode, we have from the lovely Sue, love it with a heart. Thank you, my sweetie. Mwah. Much love. Up next, we have the random man himself, Guy JB, with a brilliant first episode. Can't wait for more. Oh, Miss Peterson. It's my Elvira figure review. Is it me, or does she have one boob bigger than the other? I did respond to this by saying it's actually the way the fabric sits on the dress. Depending on the pose you have it, it's higher up one side, so it looks smaller. It's an optical illusion kind of thing, but oh well. Up next, we have Invincigaz, the man from X. Nice vid. Love. Figure looks great. What's your next pickup from the line? This was from my Transformers Studio Series Brawn review, and funnily enough, I think it was around about the time I got this comment, I actually picked up, I don't know if you can see him over on the shelf, Blitzwing up here, right there he is, right there. Got Blitzwing, got him at half price, and he was already at a reduced price anyway, so a bargain. Up next, and final comment from my Brawn review is, awesome. If I had space and money, I would have all of those. I love the Transformers series, great deal, and they are great detail, and they are just fun. Hell to the yes, Mr. JK, the Ginger Ninja, the man, the myth, the beard, of course, of course. I think that's it for the comment section. Backtracking. Oh, no, sorry. I did miss a couple from the Elvira episode. I do apologise. JK said, I've said it before and I'll say it again, Elvira, mistress of my heart. Aww. And he also said, great thumbnail too. Thank you, JK. Much love. Invincigaz said on that episode, winky face. I love that winky face. This is a great release by NECA. Nice video, lovely. Thank you, Gaz. Sorry, I should double check comments before I start recording, shouldn't I? And we also have a comment on my Elvira review from the son of the Pertwee himself, Mr. Tony Harris. He says, great show, Miss Violet, and a brilliant first episode. I agree with Jace, the Ginger Ninja. Elvira is a total legend. Looking forward to listening to her autobiography, which I've had on Audible for a while. Great looking figure too. Looking forward to seeing the next episode. And there we go. That is it for the comment section. So let's jump into a slightly different review space for today and take a closer look at Studio Series Blur. Okay, so here we are in the review space. Here's the box, here's the figure, here's the backdrop that comes with the figure. Take a quick look at the box like we normally do. There's some nice, lovely artwork of Blur right there. Is Studio Series 86, number 3. In the Transformers Studio Series, Blur from the Transformers, the movie. This is Transformers Generations, Takara Tomy. Down here you have Deluxe Class. You have a little display shot of him with the backdrop. Vehicle mode. Robot mode. Spoilers! Spoilers! Battle of Autobot City. That is literally his bio. And big screen inspired scale, detail, backdrop. Yeah. And that is pretty much it for the box. That's all we need to know about the Boxy box. So, let's straighten out this backdrop a little bit. there we go. Now let's get into the review proper, shall we? So here we have Blur in his hover vehicle sled. I never was too sure what his vehicle mode was meant to be. I always thought it was meant to be sort of like a, because, you know, Back to the Future was big in the 80s. I thought it was meant to be sort of like a hover car in the original show. That's kind of what I thought. That's why he was so fast, because he hovered rather than drove. But I mean, he doesn't have wheels, so he's not a car. And he has thrusters, but he has no wings, so he's not a jet. I mean, what is it meant to be? It just... And I know that looks daft as shit, but this is per the instructions for weapon storage. But I mean, the details are good. The little teeny tiny Autobot symbol right there. I don't know if that's going to focus, if my focus will allow that. Come on. No, my focus is not going to allow that, but you've got a little seat molded in. That's part of the transformation. I'm not going to show the transformation. I don't show transformations because that's not why we're here. We're here for the figures, not the transformation. There you go. There's the underside. It does stand fairly well. I mean, you can put it on the display base. There you go. But I mean, that's a lot of base for, well, a vehicle mode, really. So, I mean, I don't know why you would. But, I mean, we can pop these pieces off. They just tab in underneath here. These are his weapons in robot mode. You can pop those off and have a more streamlined vehicle mode. But, in all honesty, I don't really buy and collect my Transformers for their vehicle modes. I mean, the vehicle modes are cool, don't get me wrong. This is a cool representation of Blur as he appeared in the cartoon, in the film. You know, it's a good representation of that vehicle mode. But for me, it's all about the robot mode. So, that's what we're going to jump over to right now. And here is Blur in his robot mode. So, there we go. That was a nice quick change. Let's have a close-up look at Blur. That head sculpt is fantastic for Blur. He does have light piping. I'll try and position my camera towards my light. See if we can pick this up. Everything else is catching the focus. Yeah, not very good. Can't really catch it like that. If I can do a picture later, I will do. Sorry, I've knocked my camera out of whack now. Don't do that again. Don't do that again, Violet. But there we go. The head sculpt is good. It's very good. It's very Blur. Big chunk of blue plastic on the back of his head, but it's Blur. Chest details. That does sit in right. Yeah, there we go. Down the legs. A little bit gappy here. And the spoiler for the car is tucked into his leg there. But I mean, it's not the worst thing about this figure. We'll get to that in a minute. But we'll go over articulation. Head is on a swivel, I think. Yeah, and a little bit of a tip. There's a little bit there. Not much, but you get what you need out of it. Arms can go all the way up like that. Can do a full 360 and a soft ratchet. I don't know if you can... Don't know if you'll pick that up on camera. But yeah, soft ratchets here. Elbow joint gets you to there. And there is a swivel at the wrist, but this is the annoying thing about this figure. This bit of the car mode is attached here, which is attached to the wrist. So, in order to move the wrist, if you want to give him a wrist swivel, you have to pull that down and then rotate, but you can only go one way. You can't go that way. You can only go that way. So, and I mean, it doesn't look good. So I would have rather, I mean, it's part of the transformation, but still, it's very it's teasing. There's a joint there, but you can't use it. Which, story of my life. Same on both sides. You do have a nice waist twist. Legs can come up that far. Do a nice kick. Nice
Karate Kid pose. Hiya! Can go that far back if you watch out for the backpack bit. We'll get to this in a minute. And out that far, so he can do the full Van Damme. I don't know why I'm going all Kung Fu crazy today. Knees, you get a nice 90-ish degree. I mean, there's a lot of bulk here, but, I mean, you can consider that 90 degrees. There is rotation right here. So, it's sort of thigh and, yeah. Feet don't go down. Feet can go up due to transformation. But you can, at his widest stance with his feet still flat on the floor, get him doing something like this. I mean, he's not going to hold that pose very well. Well, actually, you know what? I might crucify him and have him strung up like that. But yeah, so that is articulation. Now, the bit I want to complain about, and it's kind of, with Transformers, nothing's ever perfect. They get it as good as they can because, let's face it, you're trying to force cars into the shape of robots. I mean, there's got to be concessions that need to be made for that to happen. You know, physics, things need to go places. There's no, I mean, you look at some of the old animation, there was a lot of mass shifting and things just straight up disappearing when these guys transformed. And now in the real world, you can't do that, okay? So, as cool as this guy looks, my one complaint, and it's very much the same complaint I had with Brawn, this bit here, his backpack. It does tuck away nicely here, I will say that. Up here, it tucks away very, very nicely. But it doesn't tab in anywhere, so it's left, when you're trying to pose it, it's left just kind of flopping about, and when you're trying to get the legs just right, and this thing's flopping, it just... It doesn't... I wish there was places for this stuff to lock in. But at the same time, I understand the engineering and stuff. And like I said, concessions have to be made. So, given that, you know, concessions have to be made for different modes. And physics and things have to go into places where, you know, they shouldn't. Story of my life yet again. This guy is a good figure. Really good figure. I mean, with the backdrop, I don't display them with the backdrop, but you get him on it. There you go. I'll arm him up in just a second. In fact, I'll do that now. Now, on the card, on the box, it shows his gun in his left hand. So then I'm going to put his weldery gas can. We didn't actually look at his weapons. Let's have a quick look. They're just cast in white plastic. Dead basic. I think this is meant to be like a G1 toy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I think. I'm not 100% sure. And this is a little welder type thing because he was repairing stuff in the film. So it's that one accessory from that one scene for that one bit that, you know, is ingrained in childhood memories and history and all that kind of guff. Let's get him in a nice little pose. Bring your arm down. See, that's why I don't like the ratchets sometimes, because they get in my way. I'm not a big fan of ratchet joints. But there you go. You can kind of get him posed. Ta-da. There you go. That's Blur. And just like a Blur, time for this demon queen of pain and suffering to disappear back into the void of darkness for a little while. I will be back next time with a surprise review. Good night, my sweet tortured souls. And remember, if you can't be good, be twisted. Don't get mad, baby. Get sadistic. Bye, everyone.